Hello students, welcome to Sri Jain Rank Zone. In today lecture, basically we are going to discuss about the one of the major important reaction related to aldehyde ketone, that is haloform reaction. So we are going to discuss about an important topic which is haloform reaction. See, so we are going to discuss about haloform. We are going to discuss about haloform reaction. We are going to discuss about haloform reaction. So basically, in today class, we are going to discuss about an important reaction, which is basically the haloform reaction, Now see what happens in this case. So in haloform reaction, basically, in the haloform reaction, when there is a methyl ketone, we have already discussed about methyl ketone. So this compound is basically methyl ketone. So this methyl ketone group is there, C double bond O and methyl. This methyl ketone is present at the corner. Also, if there is a group like RCH, OH and CH3, when the reaction of these type of compounds, with halogen, in presence of alkali, for example, this X2 can be I2. So this pair can be I2 and NaOH. Alkali is basically base, and this pair can be Cl2 with KOH, and this pair can be I2 with KOH, and this pair can be I2, and this pair can be I2 with Na2CO3. This pair can be I2 with Na2CO3, and also this pair can be I2 with calcium hydroxide. So any one of them you can use as a pair, either this reagent, or this reagent, or this reagent, or this reagent. So all of them will give haloform reaction. Now see, what is basically the product obtained? So basically this CH3 group, the group CH3 which attached with carbonyl group and CHOS group will convert into haloform. So this will convert into haloform CHX3, and the bond will break. The cleavage of bond will occur in this way. So this carbon-carbon bond will cleave, and this part will convert into the salt of carboxylic acid. So this will be RCOO minus. So this is basically, if sodium is used, so this is sodium salt of carboxylic acid. So this haloform is obtained by this reaction. So after conversion of haloform, because this CH3 gets converted into CHX3 haloform, and the rest part will convert into the salt of carboxylic acid. So in this way the product is obtained. You can also see the mechanism of this reaction. So I'm going to discuss the mechanism of this reaction. This R can be, so I'm talking about first this R. So this R group can be, H. This R group can be hydrogen, and this R group can be alkyl group. So this R group can be hydrogen, this R group can be alkyl group, and this R group can be aldehyde group. This R can be aldehyde. Also this R can be carboxylic acid. So this R can be hydrogen, This R can be alkyl group, this R can be CHO, and this R can be COH group. Now see what happens in this case. So this is basically a type of oxidation reaction. This reaction is basically a type of oxidation reaction. This reaction is basically a type of oxidation reaction. A type of oxidation reaction. Now see what happens in this case. So I am going to explain the mechanism of this reaction. See the mechanism of this reaction. What is basically the mechanism of this reaction? See what happens in this case. So in the mechanism, in first step there is oxidation. So in the first step there is oxidation. So how oxidation takes place? See, if compound given is like RCHOH, if compound given is like RCHOH, so first of all when we use halogen, in presence of the alkali like NaOH, so this reagent, pair of reagent halogen plus alkali, it basically behaves as a mild oxidizing agent. It basically behaves as mild oxidizing agent. Because this is mild oxidizing agent, so removal of hydrogen, so it will convert into R, C double bond O and CH3. So this will convert into R, C double bond O and CH3. now the halogenation will occur. So this step is basically oxidation. Now in the second step, halogenation will occur. Now see the second step. So the first step is oxidation and the second step is halogenation. Now see what happens in the second step. So see the second step. The second step is basically halogenation. The second step is basically halogenation. Now see what happens in this case. The group given is basically R, C double bond O and CH3. Halogenation means hydrogen is removed one by one and halogen will be substituted in place of hydrogen. So when you add NaOH, so this NaOH will provide basic medium OH minus. This NaOH will provide basic medium. So this OH minus and one of the hydrogen. So this, you can also say this carbon is basically CH2 and H. So one of the hydrogen will be removed by base. When one of the hydrogen is removed by base, so it will convert into RC double bond O and CH2 minus. This carbon ion is obtained. Now again in the next step there is the reaction with halogen. So reaction with halogen. Now see. So this X will be removed when this nucleophile is attacked. So this is basically when nucleophile attacks on this partial positive. So this X will be removed. As sodium is also there in the solution. So this sodium positive ion will be removed by X. So NaX is removed. And this halogen adds on this carbon atom. So when this halogen adds on this carbon atom, this is RC double bond O, CH2 and X. Now see again. So in the next step again, when we add NaOH, so again one hydrogen will be removed and this will again attack on X2. So I am adding both reagent in the single step. Now. Now again one hydrogen will be removed and one halogen will be added. So this will convert into R. This will convert into RC double bond O. This will convert into RC double bond O and hydrogen is removed and halogen is added. So this will convert into CH. This will convert into CH and X2. CH and X2. Now again, in the next step, again when we add, in the next step, again when we add X2 and NaOH, then again this hydrogen will be substituted by halogen. So basically now I am adding X2 NaOH in the single step. So basically first OH minus removes proton, then halogen attacks on this. Again OH minus remove proton and this attack on halogen again. So all hydrogens will be substituted. All hydrogens will be substituted and this will convert into R, C double bond O, R, C double bond O and CX3. So all three hydrogen atoms on carbon atom is substituted by halogen. So first step is basically oxidation and the second step is halogenation. Now see the third step. Third step is hydrolysis. So the mechanism of this reaction is third step. Third step is basically hydrolysis. So in the third step, what happens? Hydrolysis will take place. So the compound we have now is basically RC double bond O. The compound we have now RC double bond O and CX3 and CX3. So this is basically the reaction in the basic medium alkali, because this carbon of carbonyl group is electrophilic in nature, partial positive. So this nucleophile will attack on this carbon. At the same time, this pi bond will break. So this will convert into RC O negative, and OH attacks on this, and this is the CX3. Now what happens? Now this negative charge will shift between carbon and oxygen, and the leaving group will remove. So this leaving group CX3 will remove. Now see what happens. So this will convert into R. This will convert into R, C double bond O and OH, and OH group is there. This OH group is there, and also when this leaving group is removed, so it will in the form of CX3 minus. So this will in the form of CX3 minus. Now see what happens. Because this is acidic hydrogen, so you can name this as acid. And there is a negative charge on this, so this will behave as base. So acid base reaction will takes place. So this acidic hydrogen will be added onto this group. So this acidic hydrogen will be added on this group. So this will convert into R. This will convert into R, C double bond O, negative charge, and sodium, which is counter ion because NaOH is added. So this sodium will attach on this oxygen, and the another product is CHX3. So this halo form is obtained as a product. So this is basically three-step mechanism. The first step is oxidation, and the second step is halogenation, and the third step is hydrolysis. So you can tell the direct method for this reaction. So this is basically the mechanism. Now I am telling the direct method for this reaction. So overall reaction is basically if we have compound. So now I am going to discuss the overall reaction. Now I am going to discuss about the overall reaction. What is basically the overall reaction in this case? You can easily see what happens there. So if we have compound like RCOCH3 and the reaction with X2 NaOH, and we have added further more reagents, basically X2 NaOH you can say, X2 KOH you can say, X2 calcium hydroxide, X2 Na2CO3. So all pair can be used now. So basically what happens in this case, this cs3 this cs3 group gets converted into chx3, and this part, remaining part, will convert into the salt of this one. So this part gets converted into the salt of carboxylic acid, the salt of carboxylic acid. So this is basically the overall reaction. Now see the question based on it. You can see this by an example also. So now I am discussing the example related to this. So suppose example is like CS3. The example is basically CS3, you can say. So this is basically CS3, C, double bond O, and CS3. This compound is given. When you add Cl2 in presence of NaOH, so what happens? Any one of them, because this is methyl ketone, this is also methyl ketone, so you can break either this bond or this bond, both are same. Either you can cleavage of this bond or this bond, because both are symmetrical. So I am going to cleavage of this carbon carbon bond. So one of the CS3 group will convert into CH. X is now chlorine, so this will convert into chloroform, and the another part will convert into the another part, this part will convert into the salt of carboxylic acid. The other part will convert into the salt of carboxylic acid. So CH3CO, O minus, and Na plus. So this is basically the salt of carboxylic acid, and this is basically the chloroform. This is basically the chloroform. In the same way, you can also see another question related to this. If question is given like this, CS3, CH, and OH, and CS3. So when you add Cl2 NaOH, we know this is basically the mild oxidizing agent. This pair is basically mild oxidizing agent. So oxidation means the removal of hydrogen. Oxidation means removal of hydrogen. So this hydrogen will be removed. When this hydrogen is removed, this will convert into methyl ketone, like this CH3, C double bond O, and CH3. Now, because this reagent is basically convert the reactant into halo form, so the product obtained is basically this Cl2 NaOH will convert this reactant into like this. The methyl ketone is this one, so this CH3 part will convert into CHCl3, and the rest part will convert into the salt of carboxylic acid. The salt of carboxylic acid, you can say. This is O minus and Na plus. So this is basically the product obtained. Now see, so basically when we are going to discuss which of the compounds will give positive iodoform test. So I'm going to discuss about which of the following compounds will give positive iodoform test. So first of all, I am going to discuss about ketone. So first I am going to discuss about ketone. So we can say only methyl ketones, only methyl ketone, only methyl ketone gives positive iodoform test. Only methyl ketone gives positive iodoform test. So only methyl ketone gives positive iodoform test. What is basically the methyl ketone? You can see the methyl ketone is basically this one part, CH3C double bond O. So this part is basically methyl group is present on ketone. When this group is present at the corner, so this compound we call methyl ketone. So it gives positive iodoform test. Now see the second So next we are going to discuss about aldehyde. Next we are going to discuss about aldehydes. In aldehydes, in aldehydes, only acetaldehyde. In aldehyde only, in aldehyde only acetaldehyde. In aldehydes only acetaldehyde gives, only acetaldehyde positive gives positive iodoform test. So in aldehydes only acetaldehyde. What is acetaldehyde? Acetaldehyde is basically CH3 C double bond OH. So in aldehydes only acetaldehyde gives positive iodoform test. So we have discussed about ketone. Methyl ketone only gives positive iodoform test. In aldehydes only acetaldehyde gives positive iodoform test. Now we are going to discuss about alcohols. Now we are going to discuss about alcohols. So which of the alcohols will give positive iodoform test? So when there is 2 alkanol, whenever there is 2 alkanol, what is 2 alkanol? It means on the second carbon there is a OH group. On the second carbon there is a OH group like this, RCH, RCH, OH, CH3. So you can say this is basically 2 alkanol, 2 alkanol and only ethyl alcohol. So 2 alkanol gives positive iodoform test and also ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol also gives positive iodoform test. So these two compounds, 2 alkanol and ethyl alcohol. What is ethyl alcohol? Which is CH3 CH2OH. So these compounds will give positive, these compounds will give positive iodoform, these compounds will give positive iodoform test. So these compounds will give positive iodoform test. Now we are going to discuss about the fourth category of compound, which is halides. And I am going to discuss about fourth category of compound. The fourth category of compound for iodoform tests is basically halides. See which halides will give positive iodoform test. So see there halides is like this. When on the second position, when on the second position there is halogen. When on the second position there is halogen, because the reaction is in basic medium, because the reaction is in basic medium, so this OH minus will replace this X. When this OH minus replaces, when this OH minus replaces X minus, so this will convert into 2 alkanol. This will convert into 2 alkanol. This will convert into 2 alkanol. And we know 2 alkanol gives positive iodoform test. This 2 alkanol gives positive iodoform test. So this alkanol basically gives positive iodoform test, you can say. Now see another compound which gives the positive iodoform test. In halides also, if there is a gem halide, in halides, if there is a gem halide like this, gem halide means the two halogen groups, gem halides mean the two halogen groups are present on the same carbon atom. So this is basically the gem halide. This is basically the gem halide, and CH3 is also there. Because the reaction is in basic medium, so Na plus and OH minus, because the reaction is in basic medium. So basically when there is a basic medium, this OH minus, basically this OH minus will replace this halogen atoms. So this X minus will be replaced by the OH minus. So you can say this. So which halides this one? This is basically gem halide. This is basically gem dihalide. Gem dihalide. This OH minus will replace these two halogens. So when these two halogens will replace by OH, this is OH and also this is OH and this is CH3. Now we know two OH groups on the same carbon atom. Two OH groups on the same carbon atom is unstable. Two OH groups on the same carbon atom is unstable. So there is removal of water. When water is removed, OH is removed from this and H is removed from this. So after removal of water, this will convert into ketone. After removal of water, this will convert into ketone. And we know this methyl ketone gives positive iodoform test. We know this methyl ketone gives positive iodoform test. This methyl ketone gives positive iodoform test. So positive iodoform test is given by this compound and also given by this compound. Now see which of the following compounds will give negative iodoform test. So now we have seen which of the following compounds will give positive iodoform test. So now we are going to discuss which of the following compounds will give negative iodoform test. So now we are going to discuss about which of the following compounds will give negative iodoform test. So we are going to discuss about negative iodoform test is given by which compounds? Negative iodoform test. So which of the following compounds will give negative iodoform test? Now see, if the compound is like this is CH3 C double bond O, CH3 C double bond O, and this C double bond O is attached with a Z group. So this Z group having lone pair of electron, when this Z group having lone pair of electron, so this lone pair of electron is basically, this lone pair of electron is basically in resonance. So this lone pair of electron is in resonance. So you can say this part of group is in resonance because this is a conjugated system. Because this is a conjugated system. Because this is a conjugated system. So whenever there is a Z group and there is a lone pair on this group and this attached to this methyl ketone, and this Z group having lone pair of electron is attached with, directly attached with methyl ketone, then it will give negative iodoform test. So this Z can be, now see which groups this Z will be. If this Z is NH2, if this Z is NH2, when this Z is NH2, so the compound will be CH3 C double bond O NH2. So we will say it will give negative iodoform test. It will give negative, this compound will give negative iodoform test. If this Z is NH, if this Z is NH C double bond O and R, again there is a Z lone pair of electron. So if the compound is like this CH3 C double bond O and this is NH, this is NH C double bond O R. Now again there is a lone pair of electron. Again this is a part of resonance, sigma, lone pair sigma pi. So this will also not give positive iodoform test. This will also not give positive iodoform test. So negative test is given by these two compounds. And also if Z, if this Z is OR group, if this Z is basically OR group, again if this Z is OR group, then again you can say this is like CS3, this is like CS3 C double bond O, and this Z is OR group. This Z is basically OR group. Now again this lone pair is a part of resonance, so this will also give negative iodoform test. And also if this Z is, if this Z is OH group, then again, so the compound will be like this, the compound will be like this CH3 C double bond O and OH. So on this oxygen there is a lone pair, again this is a part of resonance, so this will also give negative iodoform test. So these are basically the compounds, these are basically the compounds will give, which give negative iodoform test. Also this X can be halogen also, this X can be halogen also. Now if this is like halogen, like you can say CH3, you can say CH3 C double bond O, and this is halogen, there is a lone pair of electron. Now this is a part of resonance, now this will also give, this will also give negative iodoform test. So this will also give negative iodoform test. So these are basically the conditions. These are basically the conditions. So these are following compounds which will give negative and positive iodoform test. Now I am going to discuss which of the following compounds will give positive iodoform test and which of the following compounds will give negative iodoform test. See, the question is which of the following compounds, the question is which of the following compounds, which of the following compounds, which of the following compounds will give positive iodoform test. Now see, the first one is CS3 C double bond O and H. We have already discussed only aldehyde which gives positive iodoform test is acetaldehyde. So this compound is acetaldehyde, and we know in aldehyde there is only one compound which is acetaldehyde which give positive iodoform test. So positive iodoform test given by this compound. Now see the next one. The next one is formaldehyde. The formaldehyde is basically SC double bond OH. We know in aldehydes only and only acetaldehyde. Will give positive iodoform test. So this formaldehyde will give negative iodoform test. So I am making the negative with cross and positive with right. So this formaldehyde will give negative iodoform test. Now see the next compound. The next compound is propanol. Again, the propanol is basically CS3, CH2, C double bond O and H. We know this is also aldehyde, and we know in aldehyde only and only acetaldehyde will give positive iodoform test. So this will not give positive iodoform test. It means negative test is given by propanol. Now see the fourth one. The fourth one is basically acetone. The fourth one compound is basically acetone. So which compound is basically acetone? The acetone is basically CH3, C double bond O and CH3. This compound is basically acetone. We know ketones basically methyl ketones. So this is methyl ketone. We know methyl ketone gives positive iodoform test. So acetone will give positive iodoform test. Now see the next. The next one is CH3 C double bond O and C2H5. Now you can see, you can compare this compound with, you can write this compound like this: CH3 C double bond O and OR. So this OR group is basically Z. And Z having lone pair of electron. So you can write this compound as CH3 C double bond O and Z group having lone pair of electron. We know whenever there is a lone pair of electron is in conjugation with C double bond O, so there is also this lone pair is in resonance. So we will say this will give negative iodoform test. So the test given by this compound is negative. In the same way, you can compare some more compounds. Related to this, like if you want to see The next compound is CH3, CH, 2CH, OH, and CH2 and CH3. Now this you can say this is 3. So this is basically 3 alkanol, but we know only 2 alkanol. We know only 2 alkanol. So only 2 alkanol will give positive iodoform test. So which compound only? Only 2 alkanol gives positive iodoform test. So this is 3 alkanol. So we will say this will not give positive iodoform test. So the negative test is given by this compound. So the negative iodoform test. So the negative iodoform test is given by this compound. So in this way, you can see which of the following compounds will give the positive iodoform test and which of the following compounds will give negative iodoform test. Now see again some question related to this. See, the question is basically, the next question is, you have to see this compound which is basically ethanol. We know ethanol ethanol gives positive iodoform test. So ethanol basically gives positive iodoform test. So the positive iodoform test is given by ethanol. Now see the next compound. The next compound is basically CH3, CH3 and C double bond O and CHO. Now in this case again, you can write this compound as CH3. You can write this compound as CH3 C double bond O, and this is C double bond O and H. So you can say there is no Z group. So if there is a Z with a lone pair of atom, so if there is a Z with a lone pair of electron, so negative test is given by these compounds. Negative test is given by this compound, but there is no lone pair of electron is in conjugation, and also there is a methyl ketone. So this methyl, due to this methyl ketone, it will give positive. This compound will give positive iodoform test. So due to presence of methyl ketone and due to unavailability of lone pair on Z, this is Z, so this will give positive iodoform test. If there is a lone pair, then this will not give positive iodoform test, then it will give negative iodoform test. So these are basically the compounds. Now see another question which I am going to discuss. You can say if compound is like this, the compound F, CH3C, Cl, and this carbon there is one more Cl and this is CH3. You already know, because the reaction is in basic medium. So these two Cl group will be replaced by OH groups. So this will convert into CH3C, OH, OH, and CH3. We know two OH groups. We know two OH groups on the same carbon atom is unstable. So water will be removed. So when water is removed, this will convert into methyl ketone. And we know this compound give positive iodoform test. This will give positive iodoform test because this is methyl ketone. So these are basically the compounds which give positive iodoform test and the compounds which give negative iodoform test. So we have seen all the compounds which give positive iodoform test and also the compounds which give negative iodoform test. So we have discussed the reaction related to positive iodoform test and related to negative iodoform test. And please remember these compounds because this topic is very important. Next, we are going to discuss about after iodoform test. First of all, we have discussed about the aldol condensation reaction. Then in the oxidation, we have discussed about the iodoform test. Now we are going to discuss about the Cannizzaro reaction. So next topic I am going to discuss is Cannizzaro reaction. Now see, the next topic is basically Cannizzaro reaction. So the next topic is Cannizzaro reaction, and this is the important topic, like aldol condensation. What is the basic difference between the Cannizzaro reaction and aldol condensation? See, in aldol condensation, in aldol condensation, the aldol condensation is given by those compounds having alpha hydrogen. So there must be at least 2 alpha hydrogen for aldol condensation. It means the carbonyl compound. It means the carbonyl compound. It means the carbonyl compound. It means the carbonyl compound containing alpha hydrogen. The carbonyl compound containing alpha hydrogen will give aldol condensation. Will give aldol condensation reaction. But there it is reverse. But there it is reverse. Aldehydes having no alpha hydrogen will give Cannizzaro reaction. Aldol condensation in presence of dilute base, dilute NaOH. But this Cannizzaro reaction is in presence of concentrated alkali. So you can write this as aldehydes having aldehydes having aldehydes having no alpha hydrogen. Aldehydes having no alpha hydrogen. So the aldehydes having no alpha hydrogen on reaction with aldehydes having no alpha hydrogen on reaction with concentrated alkali, on reaction with concentrated alkali, on reaction with concentrated alkali. So in this case, basically disproportionation reaction will occur. Disproportionation takes place. Disproportionation takes place. So basically the aldehydes having no alpha hydrogen in aldol condensation, there must be alpha hydrogen, but in Cannizzaro reaction the condition is there must be no alpha hydrogen. So in aldol there is a reaction with dilute NaOH, but in Cannizzaro there is a reaction with concentrated alkali. So after reaction disproportionation will takes place. So after reaction disproportionation takes place, and both product acid and alcohol are product. So basically alcohol and acid both product are obtained. So basically, and after disproportionation takes place, and both acid and both acid and both acid and alcohol, both acid and alcohol are obtained, acid and alcohol are obtained at the same time, at the same time. So both acid and alcohol are obtained at the same time. This reaction is known as Cannizzaro reaction. This reaction is known as Cannizzaro reaction. This reaction is known as Cannizzaro reaction. See the example related to Cannizzaro reaction. The example related to Cannizzaro reaction. This is the compound is basically HC double bond O. Now see, is there any alpha carbon? No. So alpha carbon is absent. Alpha hydrogen is also absent. So we can say in this compound alpha hydrogen is absent. So basically in this compound alpha hydrogen is absent, and the reaction in presence of concentrated alkali. This reaction is basically in the presence of concentrated alkali. So this aldehyde having no alpha hydrogen, will convert into acid, and also into alcohol, It means one of the product is oxidized, and another product is reduced. So when it convert into alcohol, it means reduction. So oxidation and reduction both takes place. Oxidation and reduction both take place. So basically the compound obtained will be when it convert into like this. So one of the product obtained is CS3OH, and another product obtained is HCOO negative charge and Na plus. Why this is not acid, the salt of acid? Because basic medium is there. So basic medium is there, therefore this will form the base, not because acid base reaction takes place. So this is basically the product obtained. So this reaction is basically because the oxidation state changes. Because the oxidation state changes, one is increase in oxidation number and one is decrease in oxidation number. When the oxidation number of same element is increased and the oxidation number of same element is decreased, then the reaction we call disproportionation reaction. Then the reaction we call disproportionation reaction. So one of the product obtained is basically alcohol after disproportionation, and one of the product obtained after disproportionation is acid. So both products are obtained of same carbon. So in the reactant there is only one carbon, so in the product also there is only one carbon. So one carbon alcohol and one carbon acid is obtained as a product. Now we will discuss about the mechanism of this reaction. What is basically the mechanism of this reaction? See, so now we are going to discuss about the mechanism of this reaction. Take 1 minute break. I'm also drinking water. You people also drink water. Now see the mechanism of Cannizzaro reaction. What is basically the mechanism of Cannizzaro reaction? So I am going to discuss about mechanism of Cannizzaro reaction. So I am going to discuss the mechanism of Cannizzaro reaction. What is basically the mechanism? What is basically the mechanism of Cannizzaro reaction? So what is basically the mechanism of Cannizzaro reaction? Now see the mechanism of this Cannizzaro reaction. Now see, so we have basically the aldehydes having no alpha hydrogen, like this. This aldehyde having no alpha hydrogen, so alpha hydrogen is absent. Alpha hydrogen is absent because the reaction takes place in the basic medium. Because the reaction takes place in the basic medium, so base is OH minus. This OH minus will attack on the electrophilic carbon. This OH minus will attack on the carbon of carbonyl group, which is electrophilic. Then 5 bonds will be formed, 1 2 3 4 5. So at the same time this carbon oxygen bond will break on the more electronegative atom. So now this step is slowest step of reaction. This step is basically slowest step of reaction. So this is basically the slow step. Not you can say slowest, you can say this reaction is slow step only slow step. So this step is basically slow, not slowest step. Now see, after the attack of nucleophile, basically nucleophile adds on the carbon. When nucleophile adds on the carbon, this OH added on the carbon and this is H. At the same time, this electron pair when shift on oxygen, there is a negative charge on oxygen. There is negative charge on oxygen. Now see what happens. Another molecule of this compound, which is basically the, if you want to say, then you can write this as H, another molecule of this compound, HC double bond O and H, and the reaction of this compound with this one. So this is basically H. This is basically HC OH and H, and on this oxygen there is negative charge. Now see what happens. Now this hydride, basically hydride means H minus ion. So this hydride will shift on this carbon atom because this carbon is electrophilic. So this hydride basically H minus, this H minus will attack on this carbon. When this H minus attacks on this carbon, 5 bonds will be formed. So at the same time, this bond will break on the oxygen atom. So after hydride shift, So this step is basically again because H minus is a nucleophile. So this step is a nucleophilic addition reaction, and this step is the slowest step. So first step is slow only, and this step is basically the slowest step. And slowest step we know rate determining step. Slowest step we know rate determining step, which is RDS. Now basically what happens? This H minus attacks on this carbonyl carbon. So when this H minus attacks, on this carbonyl carbon, so this will convert into H, this will convert into HCH, and also there is hydrogen, and on this oxygen there is negative charge. On this oxygen there is negative charge, and the another product will be, so basically this H minus removes when this negative charge shift between carbon and oxygen. When this negative charge shift between carbon and oxygen. So this will form C double bond O. This will form C double bond O, and also on this carbon, OH group and H group is also there, like this. Because this O minus will behave as a base. This O minus will behave as a base. So this hydrogen is basically acidic hydrogen because present on carboxylic acid. So this acid base reaction will takes place. This acid base reaction will also takes place. So after the acid base reaction, what happens? This will convert into CH3OH. And this will convert into HCOO minus. Because NaOH is used, so Na plus is present in the solution. So this Na plus will be supported by O minus. So this product is obtained, and this is basically the mechanism. Now we can say this step is the slowest step, or RDS step, means rate determining step. So rate will be decided by this step. So I'm only writing the rate law of this reaction. The rate law is basically the rate of this reaction. Basically K times depends on, with respect to aldehyde, the order of reaction is 2, and also with respect to OH minus, the order is 1. So overall order of this reaction, the overall order of reaction is basically in this case is 3. So the order of reaction is basically 3 in this case. Now see the question based on the Cannizzaro reaction. What are basically the question based on mechanism of Cannizzaro? The question is basically the compound given CH3, CH3, and on this carbon again CH3, and this is basically CHO. And the reaction in presence of concentrated NaOH. So OH minus is there. This is basically concentrated NaOH. Now see, as you can see, alpha hydrogen is absent. So you can say in this compound alpha hydrogen is absent. So when alpha hydrogen is absent, it means which reaction will take place? If alpha hydrogen is absent, it means Cannizzaro reaction will take place. So if alpha hydrogen is absent, then Cannizzaro reaction will take place. So what happens? This aldehyde will reduce into alcohol, and also this aldehyde group will oxidize into this aldehyde group will reduce into alcohol, and also this aldehyde group will be oxidized into carboxylic acid. So the product will be like this. Because alpha hydrogen is absent, therefore the reaction is Cannizzaro. CH3, and this aldehyde gets reduced into alcohol, and also this is CH3, this is CH3. So this gets oxidized into carboxylic acid. So one of the product is alcohol and one of the product is carboxylic acid. Because alpha hydrogen is absent, therefore reaction given by this is Cannizzaro reaction. Now see another question related to this. The next question is the compound we have benzaldehyde. This compound we have which is benzaldehyde, that is CH double bond O, and the reaction with concentrated KOH. Now again, because alpha hydrogen is absent, because alpha hydrogen is absent. So when alpha hydrogen is absent and also concentrated alkali, means Cannizzaro reaction will takes place. So which reaction will takes place? Cannizzaro reaction. So Cannizzaro reaction will takes place. So this part of aldehyde, this will oxidize into acid, and also this will reduce into alcohol, and this benzene will remain same. The benzene will remain same because alpha hydrogen is absent. So this aldehyde will be reduced into alcohol, and also this aldehyde will be reduced into the salt of carboxylic acid, COO minus, and if potassium is there, then surrounded by potassium. So this K plus, CO minus K plus will be obtained as a product. So one of the product is alcohol and one of the product is the salt of carboxylic acid. So now we are going to discuss some more reactions related to Cannizzaro. See, the more reaction related to Cannizzaro. Basically, we are going to discuss about the reaction which is cross Cannizzaro reaction. Cross Cannizzaro reaction. So what is basically the cross Cannizzaro reaction? Cross Cannizzaro reaction means if two different aldehydes are given. So cross Cannizzaro reaction means two different aldehydes are given. And also in these two aldehydes alpha hydrogen is absent. Then cross Cannizzaro reaction will takes place. Now see what happens. Like for example, one of the compound given is HC double bond OH. So one of the compound given is HC double bond OH, and the another compound given is this one, benzene, and this is benzaldehyde, so CHO. So these two compounds are given. One is formaldehyde, and one is benzaldehyde. In this case, in this compound also alpha hydrogen is absent. So alpha hydrogen is absent there, and also there also alpha hydrogen is absent. In this compound also alpha hydrogen is absent. So both having alpha hydrogen absent. Now see what happens. You people know about which of the following compound? So you know in these two compounds which is more reactive? In these two compounds basically which is more reactive, you know, based on the nucleophilic addition reaction. So as we know nucleophilic addition reaction reactivity, the nucleophilic addition reaction reactivity depends on two factors. The reactivity in nucleophilic addition reaction is directly proportional to positive charge, on carbonyl carbon, directly proportional to positive charge on this carbonyl carbon, which is basically directly proportional to minus I group and inversely proportional to plus I group. And second, this nucleophilic addition reactivity is inversely proportional to steric hindrance. Is inversely proportional to steric hindrance. So which is more reactive? Now see. So more reactive. Now note, in case of cross Cannizzaro, in case of cross Cannizzaro, in case of cross Cannizzaro reaction, in case of cross Cannizzaro reaction, what happens? In cross Cannizzaro reaction, more reactive. In cross Cannizzaro reaction, more reactive will oxidize, more reactive will oxidize, and less reactive will reduce, and less reactive will reduce. So in cross Cannizzaro, what happens? The cross Cannizzaro is basically based on, so this reaction basically in the presence of concentrated KOH. So we are looking for the products. So which products are basically obtained? Because two different compounds are there, and in both compounds alpha hydrogen is absent. So the major product depends on the nucleophilic addition reactivity, and nucleophilic addition reactivity depends on two factors. One is positive charge on this carbonyl carbon, and second is inversely proportional to steric hindrance. So the more reactive will oxidize, and the less reactive will reduce. So which is more reactive? In formaldehyde and benzaldehyde, you can see in HCHO, in HCHO, and this is C6H5, C double bond O and H. This is benzaldehyde. So there is less steric hindrance because two small size hydrogen is there, and there is one benzene which is large size. So less steric hindrance is there. There is less steric hindrance, and there is more steric hindrance. So there is less steric hindrance, and there is more steric hindrance. So this compound is more reactive. This compound is more reactive. This compound is more reactive, and we know more reactive compound will be oxidized. More reactive compound will be oxidized. So the product obtained will be, this compound will oxidize because one carbon is there. So this will oxidize into the carboxylic acid of one carbon. So HC double bond O and O minus, because basic medium is there. Therefore this K plus will surrounded by this, and this is less reactive. Therefore this product will reduce into alcohol. So CHO group, this CHO group will reduce into alcohol. So another product is CH2OH. CH2OH. So these two products are obtained. This one is acid and this one is alcohol. So in this way you can do the cross Cannizzaro reaction. See on the next page basically what happens. The question given is SC double bond O and H, and the reaction of this compound with C6H5, C double bond O and H. In both compounds alpha hydrogen is absent. Alpha hydrogen is absent in this compound also, and in this compound also alpha hydrogen is absent because the reaction is Cannizzaro. How the reaction is Cannizzaro? Because reaction in presence of concentrated KOH. So more reactive will oxidize, and less reactive will reduce. So more reactive will oxidize, and less reactive will, this is C6H5, less reactive will reduce into alcohol. So this is alcohol, and this is salt of carboxylic acid. This is salt of carboxylic acid. So this is basically the product obtained after cross Cannizzaro. Now another reaction related to the cross Cannizzaro reaction. Solve this question based on cross Cannizzaro reaction. See the question based on cross Cannizzaro. The question is basically based on cross Cannizzaro. One of the compound given is HCHO. One of the compound given is HCHO, and the another compound given is CS3, CS3, and this carbon also having CS3 and CHO. and the reaction in presence of 50% NaOH, it means concentrated alkali. There is also alpha hydrogen absent. So in the first compound, alpha hydrogen is absent. Also in this compound, this is alpha carbon, there is no hydrogen on alpha carbon. So there also alpha hydrogen is absent. So the reaction is basically Cannizzaro reaction. This is Cannizzaro reaction and cross Cannizzaro reaction. Why this is cross Cannizzaro reaction? See, why this reaction is basically cross Cannizzaro reaction, because the two aldehydes having alpha hydrogen absent are different. So this will follow nucleophilic addition reactivity. We know this will follow nucleophilic addition reaction reactivity. So this will follow nucleophilic addition reactivity, and nucleophilic addition reactivity directly proportional to positive charge on the carbonyl carbon, which is basically directly proportional to minus I and inversely proportional to plus I. And also nucleophilic addition reactivity is inversely proportional to steric hindrance. Means means less steric hindrance, then more nucleophilic addition reactivity. Now see the two aldehydes. The two aldehydes given are basically HC double bond O and H, and there it is CS3 C CS3 CS3, and this is C double bond O and H. Now you can see in these two compounds there is hydrogen only across carbonyl group. It means less steric hindrance. So there is less steric hindrance, but across this carbonyl, one of the group is hydrogen, but other group is very large. The other group is very large, means bulky group. So due to this bulky group, due to this bulky group, there is more steric hindrance. Due to this bulky group, there is more steric hindrance. So due to this bulky group, there is more steric hindrance. As steric hindrance is more there, we know less steric hindrance means more reactive. So we know more reactive product, more reactive aldehyde will oxidize, more reactive aldehyde will oxidize, and less reactive will reduce. So the more reactive aldehyde will oxidize and the less reactive aldehyde will reduce. So this is more reactive aldehyde because of less steric hindrance. So this will oxidize. So this will oxidizes into the salt of carboxylic acid. This will oxidizes into the salt of carboxylic acid, and this will reduce. So this group will remain as it is. This aldehyde gets reduced into alcohol. So this will convert into CH3 on this carbon. Two more CH3 groups are there. This aldehyde will reduce into alcohol. So this is basically disproportionation reaction. One of the product is salt of carboxylic acid, and the other product is basically alcohol. Now I am going to discuss about, so we have discussed about Cannizzaro, self Cannizzaro reaction. Then we have discussed cross Cannizzaro reaction. Now I am going to discuss intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. So now I am going to discuss intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. So now I am going to discuss intra intramolecular intramolecular Cannizzaro intramolecular Cannizzaro intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. So I am going to discuss intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction, the next topic. See how intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. Suppose two aldehydes with alpha hydrogen is absent is present on the same compound like this. This is CH double bond O and this is also CH double bond O. You can write this compound also in this way. You can write this compound also in this way like CHO and CHO. Now see, alpha hydrogen is absent. Two carbonyl groups are there and alpha hydrogen is absent. The same compound. The name of this compound is basically glyxol. The name of this compound is basically glyxol. So the name of this compound is basically glyxol. See what happens when glyxol when glyxol reacts with concentrated NaOH. When glyxol reacts with concentrated NaOH, so what happens in this case? So both having alpha hydrogen absent in both in both alpha hydrogen is absent. There also alpha hydrogen is absent and there also alpha hydrogen is absent. So in both of them alpha hydrogen is absent because concentrated NaOH is used and alpha hydrogen is absent and alpha hydrogen is absent. So Cannizzaro reaction will take place. So any one of them because both are same, because both are same, so any one of them will oxidize into salt of carboxylic acid and another will be reduced into alcohol. So you can write the product in this way. You can write the product in this way like CH2, like CH2OH. If this is reduced and this is oxidizes and this is oxidizes means COO minus and Na plus. Either this one or you can write if this one is oxidized, so it will be like CO minus Na plus and the below carbon is reduced. So it means the compound containing two carbonyl groups, and on the both carbonyl groups the alpha hydrogen is absent. So one of the carbonyl will reduce and another will be oxidized because the reaction takes place on the same molecule. Therefore this is intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. Therefore this is intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. Now see the next question related to intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. What is basically the next question related to Cannizzaro reaction? See, the question is like this. This is basically the benzene. On this carbon there is a CHO group and also on this carbon there is a CHO group. Now see, the two carbonyl groups on the same group, on the same compound. The two carbonyl groups are on the same compound and also alpha hydrogen is absent and also alpha hydrogen and also the alpha hydrogen is absent. And the reaction in presence of concentrated NaOH. So what happens? Any one of them, because both are same, So one of them will be oxidized and the another will be reduced. So one will oxidize into the salt of carboxylic acid and the other will be reduced into alcohol. So the product obtained will be like this. The product obtained will be like this. One of them will be reduced into alcohol and other will be oxidized into the salt of carboxylic acid. So this is also a intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. This is also intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. So one of them will reduce and one of them will oxidize. You can also say this can reduce or this can oxidize. Now see the next question related to this. The compound given is like this: CH3, C double bond O, and CH double bond O. Now see, this is basically aldehyde and this is basically ketone. This is basically ketone. We know Cannizzaro reaction basically Cannizzaro reaction, basically the Cannizzaro reaction based on the nucleophilic addition reaction, based on the Cannizzaro reactivity directly proportional to nucleophilic addition reaction, and more reactive more reactive aldehyde will oxidize, more reactive aldehyde will oxidize, and less reactive aldehyde or ketone and less reactive aldehyde or ketone will reduce. Now see, two groups are there. One is aldehyde and one is ketone. So aldehyde is more reactive and more reactive will oxidize and the less reactive will reduce. So the product obtained will be like this when we do Cannizzaro reaction in presence of concentrated NaOH. So this CHO, this CHO, because nucleophilic addition reaction is faster in aldehyde, so this CHO will be oxidized into salt of carboxylic acid and this will reduce. So the product obtained will be like this: CH3, CH, OH, and this CHO, because of more reactive, so more reactive will oxidize. So oxidized product of aldehyde is salt of carboxylic acid. So this is basically the salt of carboxylic acid obtained as a product. So this is all about basically the Cannizzaro reaction. We have discussed about the self Cannizzaro. Then we have discussed about the cross Cannizzaro. Then we have discussed about the intramolecular Cannizzaro reaction. Now we are going to discuss about the next reaction, which is basically Tischino reaction. Tischino reaction. So next I am going to discuss about see, the next we are going to discuss about, which is Tischino reaction. So Tischino reaction. This is Tischino reaction. See how this Tischino reaction takes place. So this reaction is basically also a modified version of, this is basically modified version of Cannizzaro reaction. So this is modified form of Cannizzaro reaction. This is modified form of Cannizzaro reaction. See, when any aldehyde reacts with aluminium ethoxide. So basically in this reaction, when any aldehyde reacts with aluminium ethoxide, it will form ester. It will form ester. So the question is basically what happens when in Tischino reaction, what happens when any aldehyde in Tischino reaction, when any aldehyde react with aluminium ethoxide, when any aldehyde react with aluminium ethoxide. So when any aldehyde react with aluminium ethoxide, then it will form ester. Then it will form ester according to Tiskino reaction. According to Tiskino reaction, then it will form ester. It will form ester. Now see the reaction based on this. The reaction is basically, for example, if we have compound like ethanol, which is CH3CH, which is CH3CH double bond O, and the reaction in presence of aluminum ethoxide. So what is basically aluminum ethoxide, you can say? So aluminum ethoxide is basically formed by triethyl aluminum. So this is triethyl aluminum. This is basically triethyl aluminum, and only put oxygen over there, like this. If you want to draw this, so this is like C2H5, C2H5O, C2H5O, and this is thrice, and aluminum is there, and also provides some heat. So this product will convert into ester like this: CH3, C, double bond O, and O, and this is C2H5, and this is C2H5, which is ester. Now see how this product is obtained. So this kino product of ester is obtained in this way. You can see. So basically we have CH3 CH double bond O. So first of all this will oxidize into carboxylic acid. So this will oxidize into carboxylic acid. So this will oxidize into carboxylic acid, CH3COH, because there is ethanol, because there is a ethanol for reaction, because aluminum ethoxide is there. So this is OH and CH2CH3 like this. So water is removed. So from this water is removed. When water is removed, because acid and alcohol react, to form ester. So ester will be obtained as a product like this: CH3C double bond O and O, and this is C2H5. In this way the ester product is obtained. In the same way, if you have another question related to Tiskino reaction, if we have formaldehyde, and again the reaction in presence of C2H5O, thrice aluminum, and some heat is also there. So what happened in this case also? So in above case there is alpha hydrogen present. But in this case alpha hydrogen is absent. It means that Tiskino reaction is given by both type of compounds. The Tiskino reaction is basically given by both type of compounds. Alpha hydrogen can be present or alpha hydrogen can be absent. Now you can write this compound. If this one is oxidized, first of all this compound will oxidize in this reagent. So after oxidation this will oxidize into carboxylic acid, and the reaction this time, because one carbon is there, so because there is two carbon of acid, therefore two carbon of alcohol be taken. There is one carbon of acid, so we will take alcohol of one carbon, like in this case two carbon carboxylic acid, therefore two carbon alcohol is taken for the esterification. One carbon acid is there, therefore one carbon alcohol is taken for esterification reaction. Now water will be removed. and when water is removed this will convert into HC double bond O and OCH3. So this ester is obtained as a product. In the same way, so basically what happens, you can see the same happens in the Cannizzaro reaction, because this one of the product is oxidized and one of the product is reduce. One of the product is oxidize and one of the product is reduce. But only difference is alpha hydrogen can be present and alpha hydrogen can be absent. So after Cannizzaro reaction, so first we will do the Cannizzaro reaction. After Cannizzaro reaction, the esterification reaction will takes place. So this is basically the Tischino reaction. Now see another question related to Tischino reaction. The question is the question is basically we have compound. The question is basically we have compound which is benzaldehyde, and when we add C2H5O thrice, C2H5O thrice and aluminium in presence of heat. So what happens in this case? You can see. First of all, Cannizzaro reaction will takes place. So after Cannizzaro, one of the, in this case alpha hydrogen is absent. So Tischino reaction is given by both type of compounds. Either alpha hydrogen is present or alpha hydrogen is absent. So first Cannizzaro reaction will takes place, and after Cannizzaro reaction, this will reduce into alcohol, and also this will oxidizes into salt of carboxylic acid. This will oxidize into salt of carboxylic acid. So this is like OH. Now water will be removed. And this will convert into ester, So the product will be like this. This is benzene and C double bond O, and this is oxygen, and this is CH2, and this CH2 is also attached with benzene. So this is basically the ester product. So this is the way by which Tischino reaction takes place. Now we are going to discuss about the tests for aldehydes. So this is about Tischino reaction. What are the features of Tischino reaction? See, you can make a note about Tischino reaction. Write a note about Tischino reaction. So I'm going to discuss about the note about Tischino reaction. Basically, both type of compounds, both type of carbonyl compounds, both type of carbonyl compounds, both types of carbonyl compounds in which alpha hydrogen is present, and absent, in which alpha hydrogen is present or absent, will give Tischino reaction, Now the second step, basically this is the first step. Either alpha hydrogen is present or alpha hydrogen is absent, they all will give Tischino reaction. And in the first step, what happens? The reaction will be like Cannizzaro. So the first step of a reaction will be according to Cannizzaro. And in the second step, esterification reaction. The second step is esterification. What is esterification? Esterification means when acid and alcohol reacts. This is acid and this is alcohol. So when acid alcohol reacts, there is removal of water and ester is formed. So this is basically the feature. Of Tischino reaction. So we have discussed about the Cannizzaro reaction. Now we have discussed about the Tischino reaction. Now we are going to discuss about the failing solution. So we are going to discuss about the test for aldehydes. So our next topic is test for aldehydes. See, what are basically the tests for aldehydes? So I am going to discuss about the test I'm going to discuss about tests for aldehydes. Tests for aldehydes. So in tests for aldehydes, first we are going to discuss about the failing solution. First we are going to discuss about the failing solution. So we are discuss about first test for aldehyde, which is failing solution. So the first point is failing. The first point is failing solution. Also we can say this as failing test. Also we can say this as failing test. So failing solution is basically contains two parts. Failing solution contains two parts basically. So one of the part of failing solution is failing solution A. So one of the part of failing solution is basically failing solution A. So this failing solution A is basically aqueous solution of copper sulfate. So failing solution of A basically contains aqueous solution. This failing solution A contains aqueous solution of copper sulfate. Aqueous solution of copper sulfate. Failing solution A contains. So failing solution is basically the mixture of failing solution A and failing solution B and failing solution B. So failing solution is basically a mixture of failing solution A and failing solution B. And failing solution A and failing solution A is basically aqueous solution of copper sulfate. Aqueous solution of copper sulfate. While failing solution B is basically Rochelle salt. The failing solution B is basically Rochelle salt. What is Rochelle salt? Rochelle salt is basically the mixture of aqueous NaOH. Rochelle salt is basically the mixture of aqueous NaOH and sodium potassium tartrate and sodium and sodium potassium tartrate. Sodium potassium tartrate. C. So basically failing solution contains, so failing solution is a mixture of two types of solution. Failing solution is basically the mixture of two type of solution. One is failing solution A and another is failing solution B. The failing solution A contains aqueous solution of copper sulfate, while the failing solution B contains Rochelle salt. What is Rochelle salt? Rochelle salt is basically aqueous NaOH and sodium potassium tartrate and sodium potassium tartrate. You can also see the structure of sodium potassium tartrate. See what is basically the structure of sodium potassium tartrate in Fischer projection. The Fischer projection will like this: HOH and this is HOH. This is COO minus because sodium is there, so Na plus. Potassium is there, so CO minus K plus. This is basically the structure of sodium potassium tartrate, because tartric acid is like this. If you want to see the tartric acid, so tartric acid is basically like this. Tartric acid is basically like this Fischer projection HOH. Again, this is H and this is OH. On this is COH group and this is COH group. So this is basically the tartric acid. This is basically the tartric acid. So this all is about the failing solution. This all is about the failing solution. Now see, failing solution basically used to distinguish between aldehyde and ketone, and also failing solution is used to test sugar in urine. So what are basically the features of failing solution? You can write about failing solution in the form of note. So I'm going to write about the first point is failing solution. The first point is failing. The first point is failing solution is used to distinguish. Failing solution is used. Failing solution is used to distinguish. Failing solution is used to distinguish. Failing solution is used to distinguish between aldehyde between aldehyde between aldehyde and ketone. So basically failing solution is used to distinguish between aldehyde and ketone. And another utility of failing solution is failing solution also used to test sugar in urine. So failing solution also use failing solution also used to test failing solution also used to test sugar failing solution is also used to test sugar in urine to test sugar in urine. So this is basically the utility of failing solution. Failing solution is used to distinguish aldehyde and ketones, and also failing solution is used to test sugar in urine. So basically failing solution is a mixture of two types of solution, failing solution A and failing solution B. The failing solution A contains basically aqueous solution of copper sulfate, while failing solution B contains Rochelle salt. Rochelle salt contains basically aqueous NaOH plus sodium potassium tartrate. Now see, so basically A plus B is basically the mixture of failing solution. So after failing solution tests, blue color of solution is obtained. Blue color solution is obtained. So this blue color of solution is due to the copper oxide. This blue color of the solution is basically copper oxide. In this case, copper is in +2 oxidation acid. So failing solution A plus failing solution B is having blue color, and this blue color is due to the copper 2 plus ion. So basically you can see this in the form of test tube also. In test tube, basically failing solution A and failing solution B. So failing solution having two solutions, one is failing solution A and one is failing solution B. And this solution initially having blue color. And this solution having blue color due to this cupric oxide, because this cupric oxide having copper in +2 oxidation state. But after test, so after failing test, what happens? After failing test, basically after failing test, the red PPT is obtained. After failing test, red PPT is obtained. This red PPT is due to cuprous oxide. This red PPT obtained is due to cuprous oxide. It means in this compound copper is in +1 oxidation state, and the aldehyde is oxidizes into carboxylic acid, So this is basically initially this failing solution which contains two parts, one is failing solution A and failing solution B. The combined color of this combined is basically blue color. This blue color is due to the copper +2 oxidation state, and after failing test, this Cu2 plus will reduce into Cu+1. So Cu means copper cupric oxide will convert into cuprous oxide, and red PPT is obtained, and aldehyde is oxidized into carboxylic acid. Now see what happens basically. So basically give only aliphatic aldehydes give failing test. So basically if aldehyde is given like this, RCHO, and we add failing test. So when we add failing solution, so this aldehyde will oxidize. this aldehyde will oxidize into carboxylic acid, because initially failing solution having blue color, and this blue color is due to this cupric oxide, which in which copper in +2 oxidation state. So after reaction, this will reduce into cuprous oxide. Here oxidation state is +1. Due to formation of this oxide, red PPT is obtained. Brick red PPT is obtained. So brick red PPT is obtained after test. And note some points. All aldehydes except benzaldehydes. So aldehydes, note this point. Please note this point. Aldehydes except benzaldehyde. Aldehydes except benzaldehyde. What is benzaldehyde? Benzaldehyde is basically, this is benzene and this is CHO group on benzene. So all aldehydes except benzaldehyde gives positive filling solution test. Positive gives positive filling gives positive filling solution test. Gives positive filling solution test. While ketones give negative filling test. While ketones so while ketones gives negative ketone gives negative filling test. So ketone gives negative filling test. All aldehydes gives positive filling test except benzaldehyde. Because ketone and benzaldehyde cannot be oxidized. Because because ketone and benzaldehyde because ketone and benzaldehyde cannot be oxidized by filling solution. Because ketone and benzaldehyde cannot be oxidized by failing solution. Cannot be oxidized by failing solution. So next we are going to discuss about the Benedict solution. So we have discussed about failing solution. Next we are going to discuss about the Benedict solution. Benedict solution. So the next topic is Benedict solution. The next topic is Benedict solution. See what happens in Benedict solution. What is basically Benedict solution? Benedict solution is basically a mixture of aqueous copper sulfate. So Benedict solution is a mixture of aqueous copper sulfate solution. Along with aqueous copper sulfate solution, there is sodium citrate. Also, along with aqueous copper sulfate solution, there is sodium citrate. And also aqueous sodium carbonate. Which is Na2CO3. So Benedict solution is basically mixture of these three compounds. So Benedict solution is basically the mixture of these three compounds: aqueous copper sulfate solution plus sodium citrate and aqueous sodium carbonate Na2CO3. And basically due to these all, like in the case of failing solution, failing solution also initially the color is blue, and this blue color is due to cupric oxide. In the same way in Benedict solution also, these all having the cupric oxide, these all having combined effect of cupric oxide, and initially the color of this is blue. So blue color is due to this cupric ion, Cu2 plus ion. So when aldehyde reacts with this cupric oxide, when aldehyde reacts with this cupric oxide, also you can say this Cu2 plus ion, also you can say in place of cupric oxide Cu2 plus ion. So what happens in this case? This aldehyde will oxidize. This aldehyde will oxidize into carboxylic acid, and this Cu2 plus will reduce. This Cu2 plus will reduce into cuprous oxide, and this cuprous oxide is having basically red PPT. This cuprous oxide is basically having the red PPT. So red PPT is obtained. Red PPT is obtained. So Cu2 plus basically changes into Cu2 plus basically changes into Cu plus. Now see what are basically the utility of this Benedict solution. Again, Benedict solution is also used to distinguish aldehyde and ketones. So make a note. Make a note. Benedict solution is also used to distinguish aldehyde and ketone. Benedict solution. Benedict solution is also used. Benedict solution is also used to distinguish. Benedict solution is also used to distinguish aldehyde, aldehyde and ketone. Aldehyde and ketone. So first utility of Benedict solution is this. Now see the second point regarding Benedict solution. Benedict solution is also used like failing solution to test sugar in the urine. So Benedict solution like failing solution can also be used to test sugar in urine. So you can say Benedict solution, you can say Benedict solution is used to test is use Benedict solution is used to test sugar in urine, to test sugar in urine like failing solution. Now the same tests which are given by failing solution is also given by the Benedict solution. So we will say benzyaldehyde will not give the positive Benedict solution test. So you can write this point in the note. You can write this point in the note. All aldehydes like failing solution, same in case of failing solution, the same in the case of Benedict solution. So basically all aldehydes except benzaldehyde, all aldehydes except benzaldehyde. What is basically benzaldehyde? Benzaldehyde is basically benzene, and on this benzene and on this benzene there is a CHO group. On this benzene there is a CHO group. So all aldehydes except benzaldehyde give positive Benedict test, gives positive gives positive Benedict test. And also ketones give negative test like failing solution. Like in case of failing solution, like in the case of failing solution, you know, there also ketone give negative test. So you can write this in point number 2. In point number 2, ketones give negative tests. Ketones give negative tests with Benedict solution. So ketone gives negative test with Benedict solution. You can also want to see like this. See the question based on this. I'm going to explain you. Like it is given, like RCHO, and we added in this Benedict solution. We added their Benedict solution. So when Benedict solution is added, this aldehyde will oxidize into carboxylic acid. So basically in Benedict solution, what you added? So in Benedict solution, there is Cu2 plus ion. So this Cu2 plus ion will reduce into Cu2O. So this is basically cuprous ion. So aldehyde gives positive. Test. Aldehydes give positive test with Benedict solution. Now see another possibility. If ketone is there, like this CH3, C double bond O and R, and again we added Benedict solution. So we added their Benedict solution. So when we add Benedict solution, so Benedict solution basically blue color of solution. So due to this Cu2 plus, the initially the color of the solution is blue, but when this cuprous oxide is formed, the color becomes red PPT, brick red PPT. The color becomes brick red PPT. In the same way, but now this is ketone. We know the test given by Benedict solution in case of ketone is negative, so it will give negative test. So we will say no reaction. It means negative test is given by ketones. Negative test is given by ketones in Benedict solution. So basically by Benedict solution, you can say. Now see again, so this is related to ketone. Now it is related to benzaldehyde. How you can relate it to the benzaldehyde? What happens in the case of benzaldehyde? See, so we know in case of benzaldehyde, this compound is basically benzaldehyde having benzene, and there is CHO, and we add Benedict solution, So when Benedict solution is added, initially the oxide is CuO. So basically this is Cu2 plus. What is the name of this oxide? The name of this oxide is cupric oxide. The name of this oxide is basically cupric oxide. Now what happens? Because of this cupric ion, the color is blue. Because we know benzaldehyde gives negative test with Benedict solution, so no reaction will take place. So you can easily say negative test. You can say negative test is given by, you can say negative test is given by benzaldehyde. Negative test is given by benzaldehyde. Now you can easily compare the two solutions. I am making the two columns. So one of the column I am making for failing solution. And another column I am making for Benedict solution. So I am dividing into two parts. I am making one column for failing solution and another corner for Benedict solution. So failing solution basically the mixture of two parts. The failing solution is basically the mixture of two parts. One is failing solution A, and another is failing solution B. The failing solution A contains aqueous solution of copper sulfate, aqueous solution of copper sulfate, and the failing solution B, and the failing solution B contains basically Rochelle salt. The failing solution B contains basically Rochelle salt. What is basically Rochelle salt? Rochelle salt is NaOH plus sodium potassium tartrate plus sodium. Rochelle salt is basically NaOH plus sodium potassium tartrate. Sodium potassium tartrate. Now, so basically initially the initial color of this failing solution is basically blue color. So due to this failing solution, initially the CuO oxide is there, which is cupric oxide, which is basically cupric oxide. So due to this cupric oxide, basically this contains cupric ion. So the color is blue. Why color is blue? So blue color is due to this cupric oxide. Now what happens? All aldehydes, we know all aldehydes, all aldehydes except all aldehydes except benzaldehyde. All aldehydes except benzaldehyde gives positive test. Gives positive test with failing solution. Give positive test with failing solution. And we know ketones give negative test. And we know ketones give negative test. Ketone gives negative test. And basically after test, suppose if you can see, if there is RCHO and we added failing solution, so this will oxidize into carboxylic acid, and this failing solution having cupric oxide, so this cupric oxide will changes into cuprous oxide. This cupric oxide having +2 oxidation state will change into cuprous oxide, which is +1 oxidation state. And due to this cuprous oxide, the color will become brick red PPT. The color will become brick red PPT. So brick red PPT is obtained. The same possibility in case of Benedict solution also. The same you can say. In Benedict solution, what is basically there? In Benedict solution, there is aqueous copper sulfate solution. Plus sodium citrate, we have, and plus we have aqueous Na2CO3, and again this will also provide basically cupric oxide in Cu2 plus. So this will change into Cu2O. So cuprous oxides, and the color, initially the color is blue, but after reaction with aldehydes except benzaldehyde and ketone, the color will changes into red brick PPT. So both solutions are same. The same features which is shown by failing solution will be shown by the Benedict solution. So both solutions are same. So this is basically the test we have discussed, failing solution test and Benedict solution test. In the next lecture, we will discuss about some more tests related to aldehyde and ketones.